conversations with friends, with family, and even with complete strangers. His infectious personality impacted countless people throughout his life. To lose him in the line of duty was not only the loss of a trooper, but someone who affected the world for the better. Today, as we remember Kyle, our hearts are with his parents, Teresa and Kevin, his fiancée, Spencer, his siblings, Colin and Bethany, his friends, the troopers he worked with every day, and all who had the pleasure of knowing him. I can provide some preliminary details about yesterday's tragic incident. At about 9:20 a.m., Trooper McCasey and another trooper had responded to a crash that involved the Department of Transportation snowplow and two passenger vehicles. One of the passenger vehicles had struck the rear of the snowplow as it was plowing eastbound I-80 near mile marker 424. The troopers checked on everybody involved in the crash and noticed that one of the drivers was suffering from neck pain. The other trooper provided first aid to that driver, whose vehicle had come to rest in the south ditch. While that was happening, Trooper McCasey spoke with the plow driver, who was outside of the plow at the time. We believe that Trooper McCasey asked the plow driver to move the snowplow. Trooper McCasey was in the process of returning to the other vehicles when the plow began to drive in reverse and struck Trooper McCasey. Other motorists saw the crash happen and stopped to alert the other trooper, who was still assisting the other injured driver. The trooper, the plow driver, and others responded immediately, but Trooper McCasey had already passed from his injuries. Because of the nature of the crash, we have asked the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office to complete the crash investigation. We have also asked the Iowa State Patrol to assist with the post-crash inspection of the snowplow vehicle. Today we're all looking for answers, and I'm confident that the crash investigation will provide those answers. But for now, our focus is on Kyle, his family, and everyone who is hurting today. The outpouring of support over the last 24 hours has been tremendous. There will be opportunities in the coming days for the public to pay respect to Trooper McCasey. Those details are still being worked out. His patrol vehicle is currently parked outside our Troop A headquarters in Omaha at 4411 South 108th Street. We've also set up a web page where you can send messages to support Kyle's family. Links to that web page are on our NSP social media pages. As we mourn, please keep Kyle, his family and friends, our troopers, our dispatchers, and all our NSP teammates in your hearts and in your prayers as we grieve this immeasurable loss. We have time to take a few questions.
Colonel, thanks for your time. Can you speak to the nature of how the plow was moving when it hit the trooper?
We believe that the plow was moving in reverse to relocate to another location. Any other details that are of a technical nature, of course, will be revealed through the crash investigation.
Was it moving quickly?
We don't know that. Andrew.
On a personal note, we see the pictures of Kyle and things like that. What do they tell us about this person?
I'm going to have Lieutenant.
My name is Jeremy Thorson. I'm lieutenant and currently acting commander for Troop A, which means I got to spend a lot of time around Kyle. What I can tell you is Kyle loved being a trooper. He had a lot of pride for this agency and a lot of pride wearing this uniform. And that resonated to his colleagues and everyone around him. Kyle enjoyed helping others. That's especially in a time of need. That's why he was a crisis negotiator. He loved assisting others and helping train other troopers, which is why he was a very dedicated range officer. And we will do everything that we can to honor Kyle and his legacy and provide any and all support for his family, his friends, and the rest of the members of the State Patrol and allied agencies.
The fact that he was stopped with Kip, does that tell you a lot about this guy?
Yes.
What does it mean to see all the outpouring of support on social media? There are law enforcement agencies changing their profile pictures to an NSP badge, their badges with a mourning band on it.
It means a lot. It's something that we wish we never had to see, but seeing it means a lot. And I know it not only means a lot to Kyle's family and friends, but it means a lot to his fellow troopers and fellow colleagues to see that kind of support. Yes, sir.
And also, your jobs aren't over yet. We're still in the middle of a really snowstorm. How tough is it, to carry on yesterday, today, and the days to come?
It's extremely tough. And all credit to the troopers that are still out there right now working the road and doing their jobs. We have a lot of resources available to them, chaplains, wellness individuals that have done a tremendous job providing support, peer support as well. And we're going to continue to do that up until all the way through the funeral and beyond.
What's your message to other drivers this week as you continue to do your jobs?
Yeah, that's a tough one because right now all we can really think about is Kyle and remembering and honoring Kyle at this time.
Do you know how because two state employees, being involved, how the plow driver, is doing?
Thanks for the question. He was asking about how the plow driver is doing. I did speak with the transportation director, and of course, that individual is hurting as well. I mean, this is a tragedy for everybody involved, and that's going to take some time to process through that.
At this point, do you know if, maybe this is a question for the sheriff, will the plow driver face charges? Is that part of this investigation?
First of all, I'd like to offer condolences to Kyle's family and all our friends here with NSP. We have a great relationship with NSP and with our other law enforcement organizations around. So the investigation will probably take 1 or 2 months, and when we're finished, we will sit down, or our investigators will sit down with Chris Perrone from the Cass County Attorney's Office. He'll review it, and actually it'll be the county attorneys who will make any determination on how to proceed.
What's the reason that Sarpy County, you were brought in instead of Cass County, because it happened in Cass County?
It did happen in Cass County. We have several reconstructionists on our team. They are experts in the field. NSP called us and asked for assistance, and surely we're going to help them, and that's how we got involved. There is one thing that we don't have certifications to inspect trucks, so we called our friends at Iowa State Patrol, and actually they were at the tow lot this morning inspecting the truck.
At this point, does it appear that the truck was all in working order?
That'll be part of the investigation. I don't know the answer to that. But that's why it takes so long, is because they will inspect the truck. And as I said, we have interviews. We'll look at other data points on what caused the incident. And that's why it takes so long.
Are you also investigating the initial crash between the two vehicles and the plow truck, as well as the incident with the plow truck and the NSP trooper? effort?
I believe the NSP handled the original crash. So we're not looking into that at all.
Can you say, a question for NSP, can you say what other calls the trooper was addressing throughout the day before he took this call?
This a weather event, as you all know, was occurring, so several crashes that a lot of you have already reported on, several crashes, several slide-offs, several motorist assists, basically everything that comes with working a weather event, and you know, the crash that Trooper McCasey and the other trooper responded to was no different than what they do on a daily basis.
So just so I'm clear, the trooper had been responding to other weather calls prior?
Yes, sir.
And there weren't any other periphery accidents. It looked like, you know, you guys were able to slow down traffic enough, but there weren't any other accidents that occurred, later on, I guess, because of this tie-up. Was there?
I don't have that information.
Are there any stories of the trooper you'd like to share with the community? Obviously, this has shaken you and State Patrol and other law enforcement agencies. Can you speak to just the work he was able to do in the community?
Kyle was an extremely, I won't share any specific stories at this time. I just want to honor him and remember him. But Kyle was a very dedicated trooper, had been with our agency for 10 years. Like I said, he was a range officer. He was a crisis negotiator. He was an extremely hard worker and very proud of the State Patrol and to be able to serve the state in the way that he did. Go ahead.
I'd like to camp on that question a bit. Just some anecdotes about Kyle. You may not remember this, but the last trooper that we lost in the line of duty was Jerry Smith in June of 2019. Kyle and Jerry were actually roommates in camp, at Camp 5-6. And Kyle was instrumental in helping the Smith family in their time of grief. The second phone call I made yesterday was to Karen Smith. And that was a hard one.
Do you guys have any details on the funeral and any processions that may occur in the coming days or weeks?
We don't have that information at this time. Obviously, we're providing support for the family and helping to arrange that, but we don't have that information. But when we do, we will for sure send that out and publicize that.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Charlie.